Okay, so again, this is my space. I I don't. You may think this is strange, but I don't have a bed. I have a mat. Um, I do exercise on the mat. Because it helps me facilitate maneuvering during jujitsu niwaza and grappling. Uh, it helps me deal with stress. It helps me maneuver my body when I'm in the trees, when I'm working in trees. Helps me maneuver my body and twist my body and position my body better. Uh, so I learned a lot of some of these techniques from the Built to Roll program, uh, and also other maneuvering that I learned. Um, you know, I'm not. Jiu-jitsu has been a big part of my life for the last 20 years. I'm not saying I'm the best practitioner, but I'm not the worst either, and I try hard. So I like doing jiu-jitsu. These are just techniques, solo techniques that you do by yourself to facilitate maneuvering when you get to do your niwaza, your jujitsu niwaza, and your jujitsu randori. That's what it is. So don't get confused with, well, now that you do these exercises that you're going to be, you know, the best at niwaza and randori. That takes actually doing niwaza and randori. Okay. And for some people, they might have to overcome um, some difficulties and issues uh, that they acquired during their life. So, we all have those, and Jiu-Jitsu helps us battle through those, and hopefully we can make the best choices for our lives. So, I've did this multiple times now. I and right So those might help you breathe better, might make your heart rate, raise your heart rate. Those might help you. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do is help you control your body, control your breathing. You know, so if you're getting strangled, then you know how to breathe appropriately when you're getting strangled, so that in hopes that you may get out, but you may not get out. Okay, that's why you would do that. Or if you're in an area and it's dusty, okay, there's going to be microbials in the air, and you're going to be able to deal with those microbials better if you're aware of that issue and threat. You can control your breathing. Okay, so that's why you would do such a thing. All right. We wouldn't limit. You can do 2 minutes of that. You can do sets of 2 minutes, so on and so forth. So you're controlling your inner organs. You're controlling your lungs. Okay. So that's going to make you able to control different types of stresses, such as getting strangled, because that's a common thing that will happen if you're doing Newaza, okay, and Randori. That's just something that might happen. So there's other benefits to it as well. That's not the only benefit. Okay. So here, and then I'm gonna do just kind of, you see there, boom, just switching my stance to southpaw and conventional, or right leg lead and left leg lead, just like that. And I'm in a hunched over. You see how I'm hunched over? So that's a stance that you're gonna have when you grapple, right? Or correct here. Maybe change the level here. Okay. So I'm just going in and out to warm up my muscles, warm up my leg muscles, and a slotted or position here. Okay. Maybe at a head position. Yeah, obviously if you're doing MMA, you're gonna be up like this, and then you're not gonna sit there for too long because you could be at risk to take a knee. Okay, so that's something to consider, but it's still something that you have to address. Okay, because grappling's a big part of MMA, jiu-jitsu is a big part, wrestling is a big part, judo's a big part, so you have to be aware with your stance here. Okay, the next one that I'm going to do is it's going to kind of do, it's called a whizzer or overhook, and then just kicking this leg back. So if they're doing kind of a sweep single, we're going to get our leg back, and we're going to kick that there with the whizzer. Boom. Okay. Now I'm moving up on one foot. I'm using that there. Okay. Okay. Whizzer kick. Almost lean into. There's another throw there. It's called a Yishimata that you can do. Okay. On one foot here, boom. Okay. On one foot here, boom. You can balance on one foot. Maybe you can't. Maybe it's going to take you time to develop that. I don't know. Okay, so here, let's back this up here. My camera equipment's not the best, so I tried getting another camera that didn't end up working out. Okay. I just, you try your best in life. That's all you can try. And they're so. Let's get this back here. and you can see just a little bit clearer here. So you can't really see my feet, unfortunately, but that's what we have right now. I'll adjust it when I come down if I have enough data. Okay, so here, okay. Right here. Okay, there. All right. Just going to do a few of these. If you wear a backpack, you know, your back might feel stiff. So this, you know, if you're walking everywhere, if you're riding a bike, this will help maneuvering quicker. When you're wearing a backpack, you can take it off. You can also do a limp arm technique. Okay, and there's other weapons defenses that could potentially go on here. So, and also lymphatic drain. Okay, great exercise here. All right, and shake out your arms there. And now just a basic. This is called a Russian tie. Okay, a Russian drag would be you're dragging it across your body. So imagine here, if you have the wrist, you have the elbow, you'd be dragging it across the body, or you'd come up around and grabbing the lat here, escorting them down, or here, and then you're going to do a trip this leg. Okay, so you're tripping them with this leg and thigh, okay, as you get it this grip. So you're going to start out with a Russian arm tie, okay, like this. Again, you can use this maybe if someone has a weapon, you can control the weapon. There's Krav Maga systems that are developed specifically off the Russian arm tie, okay, and you can use this, and then you can do a trip. Okay, boom. Okay, no one's here, but I know the appropriate motion to do the technique. Okay. And I'm not getting confused with actual partner training, okay, with multiple people on the mat. Okay, but I still know the appropriate motion, so I can do it on my own. You can see that, and I won't forget it. Okay. Right here. Okay, it's better. This is better than just sitting and never practicing a trip, never being on one foot. This is better. Okay, this is more practical. Okay. Bam. Okay, so then you know how to trip someone there. Here. Doesn't mean that you do that to everybody. Okay, so from the trip you can go into it's called a Uchimata. Okay, it's another technique from judo. It works in wrestling, it works in no-gi jiu-jitsu, it works in gi jiu-jitsu. It's a common technique. There's also counters for it. So basically what it is you could get an inside tie, outside tie, whatever, and then you could run here, and then one foot's going up, okay, and then the hand simultaneously on the same side or a different side is going down. Boom. Okay. Then you can turn back here and then go boom. Boom. Okay, so here, man, and we wouldn't turn our back, but just for the technique maneuver, we're going to turn our back, right? Because we know the threat of getting choked when you turn your back, but we also know if we got a good whizzer that we can do a Uchimata sometimes effectively. And also roll for leg locks from the Uchimata position here. I'm up here. So I remember the movement, I remember the technique, I remember where my foot is, so I can execute the technique. That's all. It's better than doing nothing. Okay? It's better than there's more relevance than just weightlifting or fitness. There's more relevance to martial arts. There's more relevance to grappling because the moves are specific to grappling. Okay? So, next one is just a shot. Okay? So just basically, it's a wrestling shot here. As you do a shot, you go down and then you come up here. And again, maybe they try to limit you right here and tell you you're no good. Maybe we don't want you doing that. Here. More. Going back here. All right. Sit. Notice the steps here. Okay. You know the steps when you're doing it. You know exactly how to maneuver your body appropriately. It matters. Okay. A lot of people, they don't know how to maneuver their body. They might think this is weird. They might think this is strange. But, again, if you're doing a leg attack, you can come down there, grab a single here, okay? You can go both hands and do a double, okay? So you know the motion, you know the head position, you're not overcomplicating it, at least for this type of maneuver, okay? All day long time, you can do these techniques here. Maybe you're doing MMA, so you block your hands here and then come down. Okay? So you know how to do the maneuver by yourself. There's tactical relevance. There's a relevance there. Okay? It's important. Next thing we'll do is a counter. So we did a lot of getting your leg back. This, we do sprawl. This is regular sprawl, boom. And we'll do a sprawl to the side. So, boom, legs come to the side. And then back here. And then to the other side. And then back to the center. And then the center one, boom. And then maybe the old one. Okay? Chest down, roll up. Okay? Obviously, you'd be coming up circling. Okay? You wouldn't just stand square. But since there's limited space, I'm standing square. Okay? Boom. Okay? So you got to know what you're doing. Boom. When you do this, okay? You don't want to limit yourself and then not be prepared when the time comes. Okay, so getting training anytime you can. Remembering the movements and techniques here. That's important. So that's how you would block that takedown. All right, next one is kind of a snap down or a snap down or a single leg, a sweep single. So that's both. It's a counter to a snap down and it's a counter to a sweep single. All right, both of them are good. It's already been 20 minutes, so here he goes. 1, 2. And this way, I'm putting my hands down. Okay, the sweep single is more like you're going in there, right, and you're sweeping around the leg. So here, I would say it's more of an exaggerated explosive movement. For the snap down counter, you have to time it correctly. As they snap down, you can do this, right? Okay. Obviously, get up there, boom. Okay. So it works both. It works both ways. Okay. So now we know appropriate attacks, and we know counter attacks. Okay, when we're on our feet. There's more than that. Okay, I'm just going through these briefly. There's more than that. So don't think that's all of them. It depends on how your partner reacts and the level of jiu-jitsu that your partner is. Okay, so next one I do is just do a sit out. Okay, this hand's coming up to block, right? You see here my back, it's blocking my back, so they can't get a tight waist, or I can get wrist control here. So it makes it more difficult for them to strangle me, okay? If I'm blocking my hips, so they can't get the position, so they can't get a submission. Okay, because generally, when you start learning jiu-jitsu and grappling, submission grappling, you go off this thing, it's called position before submission. Okay, so generally, that's what you want to do. Okay, things change when you're a higher level belt and you're going for things, and there's arguments about this, but generally, the system that we use that's more appropriate is its position over submission. Okay, so again, it's a sit out. Okay, now it's the next one is a peek out. So a peek out and a sit out is different. Okay, a peek out is if you're underneath somebody and you're going in for a takedown and they sprawl, you might have a chance to do a peek out. Or you feel them going for a guillotine and they're putting all their weight in the guillotine, you might have a chance to do a peek out. Okay, so if you don't get choked, you don't get strangled. That would mean you would know the appropriate counters to the guillotine and the appropriate body positioning to defend yourself as they do a guillotine. So the peek out is this. It's just you're bringing yourself back. As you bring yourself back, you're waiting for that pressure to pressure in. Okay, and as they pressure in, you're doing a peek out. It's an exaggerated sit out here. You can see some fitness people doing this as a way to stay fit, but traditionally it was meant for combat and survival. Okay? So I mean, I'm not trying to be a violent person, but I'm just letting you know, for us to survive, it was about combat at first, okay, and control, and then it became about fitness and health. Or who knows, maybe it was about fitness and health first, and then it became about combat. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay, so the next one is that I like to do is a counter to a front headlock, which is a slide by. Okay, so, and I like to do it when I'm here, grabbing the trap as they would do a front headlock, and then we're coming around here. This knee's gonna drop, boom, and I'm going the other way here. Okay, I went for a leg attack where I got snapped down, and now they're applying a front headlock. I'm going to try an appropriate counter, throw them by. Okay, boom, boom, blocking the hip, throwing them by. Okay, the tactical relevance to this, right? Blocking the hip, boom. Maybe I can walk like a monkey. Okay? As I'm going up, I'm walking and maneuvering like a monkey. Okay, right here, boom, boom. Okay, now they grab my head and yank it down. I got the tricep. I'm in the appropriate foot and body position. Boom, and I move that. Okay, maybe it's the other way. I'm walking like a monkey, right? Oh no. Okay, I'm down. Okay. It's not illegal. We don't like it. Right here. Boom. Okay, throw them by. Right here. Very healthy thing to do. Boom, boom, boom. As we go up here. Right there, we're going to grab this. We scoot to the side right here. Boom! Throw them by. Okay, so it's kind of an exaggerated movement. You could do it up when you're on your feet. Okay? You got to watch your foot position. Okay? So here, boom. Right here, I'm grabbing this. Okay? As I grab it here, throw it by, right? Maybe I grab here, throw it by. Maybe I grab the wrist here. Throw it by. Maybe I go here, throw it by. So there's a lot of ways you can do that technique. I'm sweating. It's kind of hot. So it's healthy to do as long as you have good hygiene. Okay? Hygiene's important too. So I'm not advising you to get very sweaty and then don't take a shower, or if you don't have access to a shower, use a hose. Okay, especially if it's warm, you can use a hose, and that may help you. Okay, so sometimes when I go to the dojos and they don't have showers, and then I'm doing like camping because I don't have access to a car or something else, I will use the hose. Sometimes I use the hose. Okay, so that's the water hose, not the other word that you would think. Okay, so next one I'll do is a Granby, or these rolls can be applied for leg locks. Okay, if you're advanced jiu-jitsu, you can do these rolls for escaping, right, for basic, or you could do them for rolling into leg lock. So right here, right, just on my shoulders, boom, gonna go. I like to stay on my head here as I go. That way my neck gets a workout as well. Okay, so your neck muscles, they're important because they support your head. They're important. If you're in MMA, you get hit, because you will get hit if you're in MMA for any amount of time, or in kickboxing or Muay Thai or the other things. You may get hit in the head, so you want a strong neck to support that impact. Okay, so exercises like these develop that strong neck, as well as faster neural responses, blood to the brain area, blood to the cranium, things like that. So they support that. All right. Next one I like to do is I like to go up on my hands, kind of do a cartwheel here. Here. Okay, so I'll do a headstand and keep my balance as I touch both legs on the ground, as a way to develop that coordination, not only in my head and body, but also my legs as I'm upside down. So all the blood goes to my head, more blood goes to my head, so it might make me smarter. Who knows? Okay, so I like to go like this. And I can keep my balance here. I just like to go like this. That way. Look at where my knee is in relation to my elbow. Here. And then I can keep my balance as well. So this is a good thing to do, kids. It's good for kids, right? When you first start, you can put your knees on your elbows like this. And then come up here. So I get an exercise by myself, but it's not Jiu-Jitsu Niwaza. Okay? So don't get that confused. I've said it multiple times. All right, so this one, I'm on my thing, and I don't know. We used to call these S-mount. Heard you call them 90-90s, but right, it's good for your hip, massages your organs. Now I'll come up like this, all the way up, engaging my hip there. Here. Okay, so now I'll come up all the way. Like if you take a shot and they're grabbing your ankles, then you're gonna have to configure your ankles, so it's more difficult for them to grab your ankles like over your back or do a crotch lift. And this is the answer. Okay, so it took me a long time to find out about this, but it's true. So right here, as you come up, see, now I'm in the position where if my head is there and their hips are here, right, I'm in the position where I can come up very easily, right? I can also come back down, okay, here, break myself back down to this, right, going the other way, right here, I'm up, right, and then I can come up, I can go down. Okay, so it matters if somebody's grabbing your ankle from behind you're going to have to configure your feet differently than if you were just able to shoot regular takedowns, and they're not going to grab your feet. So in order to do that, you're going to have to be really conscientious of what's happening with your feet. Okay, you can cross your ankles here. See, and this is just crossing your ankles, right? But if they're leaning over and they're grabbing your ankle, right, you could cross your ankle here, and that's going to stop them from pulling up on your ankle and breaking you down. Okay, so that's one answer that may work. Okay, but you have to get coordinated with your feet like they're your hands. People might have trouble. Okay? Right here, boom, I cross one way, I can put my hips up and go down. Okay? We can cross the other way, hips up. Right? So I'm crossing, right? I can still do a double and come out, and I can break myself down, right? Just to get the feel of my legs crossed, have a good stable body position as I come up, and able to switch on my feet. Okay? Right here and here, able to switch and come up. So it matters. Okay? All right, this is personal, but it can be professional if you want to know jiu-jitsu, right? You want to break through barriers, mental barriers, things that titles, maybe you like to fight, right? So maybe you just want to be a healthy person. This can make you a healthy person as well. So right here, right, crossing my ankles and just coming up here. It matters. Okay. Okay. All right, so next one is just coming up to 1 foot right here. Just like if I was to do a stand up and break this, or I'm in on a shot, I'm on both knees, maybe double knee drop, or got snapped down, or they threw you and you're down on both knees. Now you can come up to 1 foot, okay? Then come up to the other foot. Very easy. Right here, right there. They're great for warming up. It's warm, it's hot, but also great for jiu-jitsu. Now, let's start. I was starting down, and I'm starting up with my hips up. So here, and then all the way up, and then down. So you can see there's a difference there. Okay? And it's obviously my camera equipment's not going to be as good. Okay, it's going to look how it looks. All right, so obviously coming up, controlling the hands, breaking the hands, or balancing yourself as you come up on a single or double, or maybe you're doing a throw or your legs tied up. Maybe you have to balance on 1 foot. Okay? So that's an important skill at any given time. Okay. So here, just technical stand-ups. There's more than one technical stand-up. So obviously here, right, I'm on one hand. I know this one here. Boom. Go on the other side. 2 hands and up. Right. So we know the difference between 1 and 2 hands. Usually I just do 2. Will be right here, and then I'll do that one where you create a lot of distance, right? So here, boom. Here, you create more distance. You can leg attack. You can just come up into your regular stance, okay? And then down here, right? If you were just doing traditional combatives or traditional Jiu-jitsu for self-defense, you can launch a kick there, right? You kick there, create the space, and then come up. All right. Or maybe they did a single leg and you came down and on your hand and your legs up like this. You can kick the leg free there. Okay, so there's different options there. Okay. It matters. Okay. We can't just do anything. We can't just go crazy. We can't just, have a fit. That's not going to work. Okay. So the next one is just to scoot on your elbow. So we're here, right? We can scoot, but we also can come in like we're going to half guard. Right? Okay, other side. Okay, so then we can do a shrimp. It's a basic shrimp all the way. I like to do it on your hand, then I like to do it on your elbow, then I like to do a shrimp as if we were grappling and I was getting broke down. I want to just maybe, not saying all the time, maybe I just wouldn't want to go all the way down to the basic shrimp. Okay, maybe I would want to stay up and then defend on my elbow, and then go down. So we would know the different modes. Or maybe I was building myself back up so I could do the technical stand up. And as I'm doing that, I'm going from my shoulder to my elbow to my hand. Okay, so we know that that may happen. So we're going to be aware of different strategies and techniques to mitigate what could happen. Okay. I can't tell you everything that could happen or might happen. Okay. Do this. So now that we're down, let's just do a few leg circles. Now let's do a few triangles. I don't know if you'll be able to see these. A few triangles and a few arm bars. Okay, so okay. The next one is Tomoe-nage. So okay. So I missed a few, which I'll do now. Let's just stand like this and just boom here. Maybe go back and forth here. And then down. And then moving back and forth here. Okay. Here. Okay. Now maybe a hip high sweep. So here on my elbow, right? Maybe a Kimura, right? Kimura.